Looking sharp, Chop today. Glorious
Oh
morning.
yeah, glorious morning, sir. Yes, you got a new webcam, which I'm very excited to be using. The setup's not fully perfect. It's not beautiful yet, but it will be. We're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah, no, looking better, and we are professional streamers now. I think it's number beyond the price number 12. 3 months, pretty much, I guess. If this is pretty much 4 weeks a month. But no, another exciting one. Super cool to have Flash Trade from the Solana fam on today. But how are we doing today, Chop?
I'm doing really well. It's been a lovely, warm, sunny day. I've been very productive. I've just been live streaming my meme making. As some of you who follow me on Twitter might know, I've committed myself to doing a meme every day for the rest of the year. I think I made about at least 5 or 10 this morning in Discord while I was having a play around, which was good fun. Testing out this streaming setup at the same time, getting prepared for Beyond the Price. So I'm doing well. How are you doing, Pepito?
Doing well, doing well. I mean, I kind of was bummed to miss last week Beyond the Price because I really like the Orderly and WooFi guys. But I was for Mark's birthday. That was a few months ago. The gift was we're going to Reims, which is in the Champagne region of France, where we visited a bunch of champagne houses, and they have all their, I guess, the crayère, what they call, is like 30 meters below the ground. Super old stuff. And so visited those, and of course had a few glasses of champagne. So it was a couple good days off mostly. So it was pretty cool. And then Chili's hackathon this weekend in Paris. So that was a good time to go check that out. Mark did a quick presentation. And then he was judging some of the. I've seen some pretty cool projects coming out of the hackathon.
Cool. Look forward to seeing what comes out of the Chili's hackathon. That should be interesting. Yeah. I saw bits and pieces of Mark's presentation, which was great. I should give a quick shout out to, while we're here, before we get started, to Philip from Say, who's gifted me this beautiful hoodie and also a hat, which I'm not wearing at the moment. Opposite directions. But shout out to Philip from Say and the rest of the Say community for the sweet hoodie. I've been rocking it all week. I'll tweet about it too. But thanks,
I guess
Philip.
we're shouting out merch. I'll shout out Euler for the beautiful hat.
Yeah, nice. That's a nice hat.
Yeah. All right. No, but let's get Anas from Flash Trade on. GM. Oh, you muted for now.
All right. GM everyone.
Here he is.
Hey,
how you doing, sir?
Yep. Just having my afternoon tea, as you all guys. I think it's having water, but yeah.
That was very synchronized, Pepito. That was remarkable. That was good.
Almost like we had something together going. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just before we all get liquidated in the in the order books. I mean, it's a pretty fitting activity, and to have you on as well, because I'm personally been a big fan of Flash Trade and so on, and you guys have been building some really cool stuff, and in a very, I mean, I don't know if it's the right way, but a very cool and innovative way, I'd say, very community done and so on. So very excited to have you on to talk about it and the adventure.
For sure. You know, it's all about being excited to wake up to work on something that is very interesting and different from what is being built, and it motivates us to do something that is out of the line and always bet on ourselves. So yeah, here we are, and this wouldn't be possible without Pit. So yeah, shout out to Pit Network.
Boom. We got the credits in. Now we can dive into. But yeah, can you just a quick to break the ice? Can you just introduce yourself a bit? Maybe tell us how you got into this whole crypto mess, and tell us a bit about Flash Trade after that.
Yep. I am one of the co-founders at Flash Trade. Flash Trade is a decentralized exchange where you can leverage trade uh, assets, crypto assets, and we are looking forward to add any asset possible. And it's all about empowering users with giving them the highest possible leverage on chain in a fully decentralized manner where we don't control anything. It's all on chain and anyone can verify things. And coming back to the question of when I started in crypto, it's almost now, I think it's about 9 years. It's, I don't want to be a cliche, but yeah, basically started when I was in my high school. I never had money for myself. I used to watch these ads which used to give me some sats, and that used to be pretty much my pocket money, which is about, I don't know, it was like $10 or $15 at that time. But eventually Bitcoin rose up. It was about $5,000, and I was like, oh my god, did I just sell $1,000 of pocket money for change? And I was like, I started diving into Bitcoin, and that's how I started my journey. After learning all about Bitcoin and learning that the currency that we hold in our hands is actually not backed by anything except the trust in the government and the laws. And I was like, I don't trust human beings, to be honest. So I trust the code. And having a coding background, it actually it helped me to understand how the blockchain network works, and started learning more about Bitcoin and coding around. And that's when Bitcoin actually took off, and my journey went through all sorts of trading. And I used to run my own fund which used to market make. I used to be a very heavy user of BitMEX back in the day, when it was just the starting journey. Like, if you remember the first boom cycle, like on BitMEX, the first boom cycle, when crypto, like Bitcoin, went from about $5,000 to 10,000, 10,000 to 20,000. That ramp up, BitMEX pretty much launched their perps, and it was very interesting because it was all backed by Bitcoin. So even if you lost money while market making, because the price of Bitcoin went very high, you were always making money on BitMEX. And eventually I had this interesting market making strategy, and it started printing a lot of money. And that's how I firmly thought about it, like I'm not going anywhere else. So, and eventually now we are on this platform where I'm building my own exchange, which will hopefully become one of the biggest exchanges.
Does this explain the all in Bitcoin X handle?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. And to be honest, I'm always all in Bitcoin. Like, pretty much majority of my portfolio is in Bitcoin, and even I have a big deposit in one of the Flash's liquidity pools, in which about more than 30% of the pool is in Bitcoin, and it has outperformed the price action of Bitcoin. So I'm very happy to also share that.
I feel like you're the one of the very few that is full on Bitcoin, and we're just here in the alts trenches.
Yeah.
Did you have a history in studying finance or economics or something prior to you doing the trading and market making, Anas? I'm curious to know how you got into the market making and what drew you to doing that.
Yeah, I had a background in maths and computer science, not as in finance and economics. But eventually you learn about things, and I started learning more about how markets are made. And when there is money left on the table, definitely people will learn things to get that money off the table. So yeah, that's how I think I learned.
Nice. So
That
can
makes
you
sense.
yeah, can you
Go ahead,
give us
Peter.
a little bit of a TLDR on Flash Trade? What can I do? And I have a few questions, and we can go on. But if you want to share your screen and maybe a walkthrough a bit of the platform will be best. But yeah, what can I do as a manlet, a bit of a degen on Flash Trade?
Basically, you can leverage trade with the highest on-chain leverage on many of the assets. So even if you're talking right now, we offer the highest leverage on many of your favorite DeFi assets such as Radium, Jupiter, even Pyth. We offer up to 25x leverage. I think 50x leverage, sorry. And even talking about the recent token launch of Pump, we offer 10x leverage, which is the highest leverage on Solana right now available to trade Pump. So that's the most degenous thing. And the most interesting thing is going to come out next week or probably this month, which is we're going to bump up the leverage to very high levels, which is about 500x and so I'm very excited about getting that feature out where people can just go haywire on flash trade if they want to. I
That's
am just
crazy. Do
setting
you have
up.
any?
Yeah.
Sorry, Anas. Do you have like? Are you adding the 500x because you've noticed that people really like to trade high leverage on your platform? Like, what's the kind of breakdown there? Is there a lot of people doing leverage trading there?
It's all about hedging the quick moves. So if people have the sense of understanding of how markets react in the coming minutes or coming hour, they can actually trade at a higher leverage to make the maximum bucks out of that move. And when the markets are volatile, there is more hunger for people to trade these moves, because volatility is what breeds it's like the what I would say, it's the bread and butter for every trader. So the high volatile markets makes everything much better, and when you give them more juice, it's just like the buffet of all things they wanted.
That makes sense. Do you get a lot of requests to do high leverage trading? And I imagine you get a lot of different requests for different tokens as well, right?
Yes, we
Yep.
do get a lot of requests, and we do ping a lot in our group chat with Pet to get those tokens up. So yeah, it has been an interesting ride in that direction.
How do you handle those requests? Is it more of a community-driven thing, like it's what the people want, or is there other, apart from getting Pyth price feeds live, of course, is there other considerations that you guys take into account before listing certain assets that people
Yeah,
can trade?
it's more about seeing if there is demand, and if the asset goes is more volatile is what we really take into consideration. And if the distribution of that asset is well laid out, it's not just in some people's hands so that it can be manipulated and people can take unfair advantage on through our platform. So we try to understand how the distribution of the tokens are, and if there is any hidden whales who can manipulate the token and make the maximum bucks. So we try to understand that, and then as always we need the markets to be more volatile, because when you give them leverage trading, it makes much more interesting ways to earn money if the markets are moving more. So yeah.
So actually, I mean, now, can you walk us through a bit of step by step? You launched Pump yesterday. What goes into, okay, we're good to launch the market on Flash Trade? There's a Pyth feed that comes, but after that, I'm very curious to know what you guys do, because I'm sure there's tons of stuff happening in the background.
For sure. First, we have to understand the volatility nature of the volatility of the asset, so that we can determine the parameters for these asset and make sure we can chime in a spread based function that we have, because it almost mimics what you have on order books. So first we try to calculate using our own algorithms that we have written in house, and we mimic that and get to a number, and then we set that number according to the size, and then according to the pool size we set their max ratios and the max leverage. So that goes into consideration, as well as we also check the number of publishers Pyth is using, so that in times of volatility we don't go into those conditions where the price is not updating very well. And apart from that, it's more about understanding, as I said, volatility of the markets and how best we can serve with the highest possible leverage. So even if we're talking about Pump just launched about 48 hours ago. So it was about understanding how the liquidity, on-chain liquidity of Pump is, and then how well distributed it is around token holders. So it was very well, and I think we will be working on to get the leverage up to at least 25x. And yeah, that is the process. And the more understanding is on towards if the asset is native as well. Since Solana Pump launched on Solana blockchain, it's a native asset. We can add Pump to one of our pools as a native token, and then have liquidity added through it. So you can just see that Pump is added to the meme pool, which already has Bonk, which is one of the competitors of Pump right now as we see, and then there is Pengu. So we added Pump and this is the pool that backs all the trading that happens on Flash. So yeah.
Cool. I see you've got the platform up there on screen, Anas. Would you like to give us a quick walkthrough of what the platform is and some of the features and everything?
For sure. So the most interesting thing that I really want to highlight that a lot of people don't understand is like when you open a leverage position on pump. Now we're just opening a $10 leverage position on pump at a 3x leverage. The most interesting thing that happens is every position on Flash is actually asset backed. So when you open a position on Flash, it's actually backed by pump. So if this market right now shoots up at least 2x, you not only earn PNL on the size of your position, but you also earn value on your collateral because the collateral is logged in the native token pump.
Right.
So it's like longing your longs on Flash. That has been called out a lot of times because some people who open up huge positions with a huge collateral, upfront collateral, they actually get more PNL than what they see here because this is just based on their size, but they also get a added return on their collateral because it's all backed by the native token. So that is the most interesting thing. And going towards democratization of the markets, the most interesting thing about Flash is it's not all about people trading on the platform. It's also about people earning through the volumes that is being done on Flash. So anyone can come and deposit into one of these pools according to their appetite to get the yields. And the most interesting thing is to be very aligned with the ecosystem. We have some pools that give us about 100% fee share. Like Flash does not make any money on these pools. So talking about the meme pool, it shares about 100% fees of all the fees that it makes. So if we talk about just in a month, the same pool which is about it for $500,000, it actually has given about more than $10,000 in fees, all the while giving you the best exposure to the assets, the basket of assets. So we give the best of both worlds in terms of trading and earning as well. So yeah.
Using the token as collateral is really interesting. Is there any other projects doing that on Solana at the moment? Is that unique to Flash Trade?
It's unique to Flash Trade right now. Yeah, it's only on Flash Trade.
Okay. What was the design decision that led you guys to do that?
Yeah, it's all about
being obviously a unique a unique feature.
Yeah, since the assets are very volatile in nature, you kind of there is a possibility of falling short on the asset if the asset doubles or triples in the next few days. So if the position is asset backed, you always have the liquidity to fill the position, like liquidate the position or even give out the PNL for the position. So imagine if it was a USDC backed position, you would have like the LPs would have gotten the loss magnified just because the pool could not fill the PNL, if you understand my point. Because when you have the asset logged in the pool, it's much better PNL returns. It's much easier to return the PNL than when you are backed by USDC.
That makes sense. Is that what is going to allow you to do higher leverage then too?
For sure. Yeah.
Why you're able to do higher leverage and offer that? Okay.
Yep, that's the recipe. Asset-backed trading is the recipe for higher leverages and better, collateral. LTVs.
Very cool.
So
sorry, Pepito, you go.
So pretty much, I don't have to be an actual trader to come enjoy Flash. I can also just be an LP and earn by depositing some assets into those FLP, I think that you call, where I think you have up to 7 now or something like that.
Yes,
even a fart pool. I mean, this is beautiful. And so, I can deposit some assets into a pool and then get the, I guess, appreciation if those assets, price go up, and for some 100% of the fees that the trading generates.
Yes, that is the interesting thing. And recently we did analysis around these pools, and the most interesting thing that stood out is all of these pools are performing better than the underlying assets. So if you were holding Fartcoin for the last 6 months, FLP 7 outperformed your spot holding of Fartcoin versus just holding FLP7, because it's all because of the fees that these pools generate, and the fees auto compounds into FLP7, and you also get the asset backed price appreciations, and depending on the weight in the pool you get the appreciation of the price. So imagine right now it is about uh 53% in the pool. So if Fartcoin doubles, you get about 50% of that, and then you get all the sweet fees during that. So in that way you get risk, like minimized returns on your investment, and the downsides are always limited, because all of these pools have more than 30 to 40% of USDC. So imagine if tomorrow crypto crashes about 10% or 20%, your downside will always be limited, but that downside will always overcome the price depreciation, because there is fees that is being generated even during the downtimes. So that is how the uh, FLP tokens are outperforming their underlying assets.
Very clear. Chop, I think I cut you off on a question.
Okay. What pools do you have there, Anna? So I can't quite read them on my screen. And just for people that might just be listening to this, what have we got there, and what are their returns at the moment?
For sure. So we have different isolated pools depending on the market structure. So we have the crypto pool, which basically has the major crypto assets, which is we have Bitcoin, we have Jitosol, we have ETH, and we have USDC. And all the trading that happens on these assets is backed by these underlying assets. And the most interesting thing is you get the price exposure of these assets as well as the fees that is generated. So we have a crypto pool, and the second pool is the synthetic pool, which backs trading of all real world assets on Flash, which is gold, silver, crude oil, and forex pairs as well. Since we just got the real world assets on Solana right now, but before we didn't have. So these synthetic assets are backed by USDC trading, USDC collateral, and this actually backs everything that is happening on the real world side for Flash. And we offer up to 100x leverage on pairs like what we have, euro and British pound. And I'm pretty sure we'll soon be listing SPY and moving forward stocks as well. And we also have gold and silver listed, that is all backed by the synthetic pool. And moving ahead, we have a very interesting Solana DeFi pool, which has all your favorite assets such as Jupiter, Pyth, Camino, Radium, and Jito. And all the trading that happens on the platform for these assets is backed by this. And followed by we have Meme Pool, which consists of Bonk and then WIF, Samo, and Fartcoin Pool. So depending on your risk appetite and the markets that you want to be exposed as an investor, you can choose your pill. And the returns, you can pretty much see the average APY on all of these pools with the pool PNL and the cumulative fees that the pool is doing for every pool. Yeah.
Is it possible to just do single-sided depositing into these pools for people who are just wanting to buy two assets rather than one?
Oh yeah. It's not possible to do, like, if you want to do a single side deposit, you might have to short other assets and just deposit this asset into the pool so that you are delta neutral and you're just exposed to that one asset. But that is not possible right now.
No, cool. It's hard to see on my screen. Can you tell us a little about the Flash Trade token on us and how that plays into the pools and everything as well? I'm sure there's a lot going on there.
Sure. Yeah. So FAF is a fully bootstrapped token that we launched, I think, 3 months ago, and it's a fully diluted token where we have no investors, and it was all given out to the Beast NFT holders, who were our seed investors who bootstrapped the protocol with $1.2 million. And during that bootstrap period, we gave back all the money that was given by the NFT holders through the revenues that the protocol made. And to
Mhm.
make things even much better, now everyone who stakes FAF, they get about 50% revenue on the platform, which is distributed every 6 hours. And even you can see right now, for me, I have like this on this wallet, I have like 2.9 million FAF staked, and I got $80 in fees that is being currently generated through all the trading that is happening on the platform. And not only this, you also get a lot of utility with your stake, which is about you get fee discounts, you get higher referral rebates, and we're also working on our own aggregator and limit order system. So hopefully, when these things are live, you'll also get discounts on limit orders and DCA. So it's all about combining the best of utility and rev share, along with governance, which is all built using Futaki markets, where all the holders of FAF get to vote and decide on the big upgrades that are coming. And then there is an interesting twist that we did with FAF, which is the team does not have any tokens at launch. There is no team allocation nor any vesting schedule as of now. And we plan to, go with a product based inflation system, where when we launch new products, we would put up proposals for those products that are coming up, and when the proposal is passed and when we launch the product, then we get the tokens according to that. So it maintains this definitive dilution of tokens. When new products are introduced, then only you will have dilution of the tokens. Nonetheless, if there is nothing coming in new, you won't have any dilution for the existing holders. So it's about growing the pie in an actual sense. And we are very happy to introduce this new system, new mechanism that hasn't been done anywhere else in the crypto ecosystem, where the team at launch had zero allocation, and now team is working towards getting allocation for themselves from the community.
Was that a bit scary to go through, making that a reality? I'm sure that's quite a big risk from you and the rest of the team.
Yep. It is a risk, and it's all about doing. As I said in the beginning, like we really want to bet on ourselves and build something really powerful, and it's all in that direction. And we certainly believe when you are capable of giving out more value, the community will value your contributions and give you the share from the protocol.
That makes sense. And a lot of different projects have names for their community. Does the Flash Trade community have any deep lore that's been created over the time?
Yeah, we call ourselves the beasts, sometimes flashers. So I think we go more about with the beasts because that is how we did the NFTs. The NFTs used to be these 3D evolutionary NFTs that looked like a wild beast that grew from a baby bull to a bigger bear, and baby bear to bigger bear. So yeah.
Cool. Can you tell us a little bit, how long were the NFTs in circulation? Was that part of your
Yes.
pre-TGE community strategy and everything?
Yes, that was a part of strategy when we wanted to launch this DeFi platform back in the day. And DeFi wasn't the name of the game in Solana. It was all about NFTs, and we wanted to launch this perpetuals exchange, and we scratched our heads on the best way possible to launch this DeFi product, because it wasn't so interesting for people back in the day. Everyone used to love these PFPs and they were behind that, but we wanted to launch, and what we did is like we tried to get them in through this very interesting mechanism of DeFi X NFT meta, where we made these NFTs fully inbuilt into the platform, where we used to give rev share to all these NFT holders and the best utility on the platform. And as these NFTs accrued voltage points by the usage of the platform, they unlocked more value for their NFTs on the platform. So eventually, the most interesting thing was we launched the NFT priced at something around 3 Sol, which was level 0 NFT. So by the end of it, the level 6 NFTs, they were going for something about 45 Sol in the bear market, in the NFT bear market. So the value creation was clearly visible, where people who worked on their NFTs, that they became actually valuable.
That's really cool. Do you have
I have
plans
to-
for the NFTs in future? Sorry, Pepito.
I was just going to interject. I was quite sad to burn my beasts, as I really like them. But
Yeah. It depends. Uh, it depends, Chop. Basically, if we see a meta emerging and there is something to be made that is more valuable and more interesting for us and for the growth of the protocol, we will use NFTs. It all depends, like if you are able to use the technology to grow your platform, you will use anything.
Yep, it makes sense. Makes sense. That makes sense. Do you think? Just a broad general question: do you think NFTs will make a comeback towards the end of this cycle or at some stage? Do you think they have a place in the space?
They have a place in the space. NFT as a technology is a great technology because they serve as a marker on the blockchain. Because on blockchain we have so many wallets. Like even me, I can have 50 different wallets. But when you have
Yeah.
NFTs, you can do a targeted marketing campaign for specific folks using these NFTs, and then uh, as a technology, I don't think NFTs would go anywhere else. We will see many more companies using them as markers on chain world to give them specific rewards or give unlock special uh, experiences on chain. So NFTs as technology anywhere else soon, but about the PFPs, I don't think they would stand alone, because right now with the boom of AI and all that stuff, it's very easy to spin off any interesting image. But I don't think I haven't seen anything like Pythia. I do love the collection that you guys have. I actually use that as my PFP on Phantom Wallet. So yeah.
Yeah, nice. Good man. Good man.
I love that Greek mythological idea of you.
Yeah.
The family. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of our Greek mythology and everything as well. Hey, Plank, yeah. Yes, so just to answer Tom, that's what I was asking Tom, this question about whether you can do single-sided deposits and then have it split in the pool. Thank you for clarifying with that answer.
And to a quick one on I don't know where Chop wants to go after this, but on the FLP side, because I think something new is cooking, that now I can I guess tokenize my FLP and go loop it on Loopscale. Can you tell us a bit of what it is? And I guess if I don't have a Loopscale page on my laptop, but maybe what now, so I can get into the game providing liquidity on the protocol on FLP1, and I can go make even more of it on Loopscale.
For sure. Basically, Loopscale unlocks leverage on your deposits. So right now, imagine now I'm depositing $5 into FLP1. Is just at 1x. There is no leverage here, right? But you can take this 3.77 FLP1 and go onto the platform of Loopscale and lever up the yields. So basically, you can lever up to 4x, which is it would be about $20, and get $20 worth of yield during the period of your exposure, as well as the price appreciation. So imagine now you go with your $5 worth of FLP1 and lever up to 4x on Loopscale. The price of FLP goes from 1.3 to 1.5. You basically get about 15% on your $20 worth of levered position, which was actually $5 at the beginning. So that is a very interesting unlock. And the most interesting thing why these loops work is because these tokens are all backed by core primitives like Bitcoin, Jitosol, and Ethereum. We all know in bull markets things just keep going up. So when you loop, it's like it's very hard to get liquidated on these positions. Although I'm not saying any financial advice here, but just my 2 cents on it.
No, very cool. I just deposited my FLP3 because I think you launched yesterday.
Yes.
In Loopscale. So
yes, for sure. And yeah,
Very
it's an
nice.
interesting primitive which allows people to unlock more yield on their deposits, and eventually everything grows because of those loops.
Cool. Where are you? I'm curious to know where you're taking inspiration from at the moment, and us in whether it's in DeFi or somewhere else. But where you're getting your ideas from, and what you're finding interesting in the crypto space at the moment. There's a lot happening.
Yep. The inspiration basically comes from the idea that the current financial systems that we have are not open and are not user friendly. And just few days ago we saw what happened at Bybit. Like, people went with their millions of dollars worth of asset to buy pump, and they didn't get filled because the systems were not transparent. And on the other side, the people who came on, used the pump's website and interacted with this on-chain programs, they got filled. So it's all about building open finance and making the level field plain for everyone, and bringing everything on-chain, because what we are building is very interesting tech, and it has the potential to basically change the roadmap of what is happening on off chain and bring everything on chain, because this is the most transparent technology there is, and it's actually more pro government than what we have outside, because things can change in their PCs, but nothing cannot change on blockchain, because once the transactions are confirmed by validators, it's not possible to change or revert back, until unless you have some very stupid things happening on chain. But that is very powerful, and I'm sure a lot of governments are understanding that the transactions are immutable actually, and you can make immutable programs that are hard coded, and they won't revert to anything else, which actually is a major pain point in the banking sector, where they might change their terms and conditions without you knowing what is happening. So the idea is all about building finance that can replace all the TradFi systems and bring it everything on chain in a transparent manner, and serve every possible user who wants to interact with these financial primitives. And the inspiration actually, it comes from everywhere. Like, you learn from Binance, you learn from BitMEX, you learn from what Solana did during the crash of FTX, you learn from how Hyperliquid grew to what it is right now. So inspiration is everywhere, and we try to learn from all the failures and successes that is happening around our ecosystem.
Nice. Out of curiosity, have you been watching the centralized exchanges versus decentralized exchanges volume graphs and watching the divergence of?
Yes, that's what I do every day when I wake up. It's like the source of motivation for all of us working in the decentralized world.
Yeah, I'm sure it's quite humbling to see, after being in the trenches for so long, building something like FlashTrade and being so involved, given that position. I think it's really cool to see people like you at FlashTrade and Hyperliquid and all of the others really pushing the innovation forward, so that we can see the chart going up and to the right like that. It's
for sure.
Very fun. Do you have any predictions for us to the end of the bull market where you think that chart can potentially get to?
See, I don't think there is like a bull market or bear market.
Obviously, we want it to be at like 100% eventually, but short term.
The pace of innovation in crypto has been epic, to be honest. Like, if we see when Bitcoin launched and when Ethereum launched, and even if you're talking about Solana, it's just a 5-year-old chain, to be honest. And in the 5 years where we are and how decentralized we are, it's an epic journey, and it seems there was no bear market at all. So if you zoom out, it's a never-ending bull market, to be honest. But if you are zoomed in, then there is cycles to it, and depending on the greed cycles and profiteering of everyone, the cycles end and begin. But the core innovation and the technology are always on the uptrend for the past, I don't know, like 15 years or so.
Yep.
Are you excited about this? Because I guess you're working on it, adding a bunch of now RWAs. You talked about SPY and so on. how excited are you about it? And I'm curious, like, have you gotten a lot of demand from people telling you, I want to trade, I mean, I guess long stocks on flash trade and so on? And second part of the question, what are going to be the early challenges? Because I'm super curious to hear you about this, because I think you guys are one of the most careful, I mean, careful in the right way, careful teams when you do stuff. So what are the things that you'll be looking at to make sure, okay, we're not fucking things up here?
Yep. There has been a lot of demand in terms of US equities, because people around the world know that the US capital markets are very strong and they move up to the right because of the innovation happening. And there has been a lot of boundaries for them to participate in these markets. So in that direction, opening up the barriers has always been question, like people have been asking us since we launched that they need exposure to stocks. They love to trade forex, and we do see decent volumes on gold and silver as well. Even now, if we've seen about $40,000 worth of volume on silver, and something around $20,000 of volume on gold. So it's very interesting to watch people trading fat coin besides silver on flash. And I think this is the evolution of finance, basically, where the lines are blurred. Anything that moves needs to be on chain and be tradable. So I think, as a trader myself, even I love to trade the most volatile assets, because that's where we traders feel there is some edge. So for us at Flash, it's all about adding anything that goes up or down. And there will always be demand for these assets. And the next thing, on the thing that is being stopping us, or kind of a speed breaker, is the TradFi markets are not 24/7, sadly, and the demand is for 24/7 markets. And the way the US stocks have a daily close and a daily open is kind of an hindrance and kind of bugs us. And we've been having discussions with the team at Pith on how we can have the extended hours, overnight hours, and the early hours for the stocks. And we are designing a system where we can have different fee structures, and this is something is live on Robinhood as well, where they have different fee structures for this different market timings. And by this, they have 24/5 markets for all US stocks. So they don't have perpetuals for US stocks, they have spot markets. But we are looking towards to unlock perpetuals for these as well, because what we believe as traders is, like, you don't want to hold a spot, you just want to trade and get in, get out your position as soon as possible. And your base currency is always denominated in dollars, and hopefully in future it's denominated in Bitcoin. But but eventually, that is like the major thing that we have been thinking on how we can get the markets live for all the hours in the day, which is after market hours.
Do you have that on the roadmap for this year, Anas? Do you think that, because you don't have to answer that. I'm more curious about how long you think it would take in any sort of crypto marketplace, trading exchange.
I think the infrastructure is there.
When 24/7 trading would be available, because obviously the demand is there, but nobody's been able to do it yet, and it's not necessarily an easy thing to do, but it seems like an almost inevitable that it will happen at some stage. So I'm curious to know sort of how far into the process are we of that happening?
Yes. As I said, we are in the designing phase of it. So what I would say is we will probably have something that is live, which is 24/5 on Flash this year, which is trading Tesla stocks, and any asset that closes every day. We'll try to do the after hours market. And I've been having very interesting conversations with the team at Pith as well, because there are endpoints available which give you the aftermarket hours of these assets from off-chain side. So even now, with the X stocks, these are also trading 24/7, but the liquidity is not there. But eventually, I see the liquidity catching up for these assets as well. So I've been in touch with the team at X stocks as well. So the discussions are going on, and certainly we will see 24/7 markets for anything that is being traded off-chain on Solana.
I love it. Bullish. Hyper financialization.
Always. Just a minute. Yeah.
Oh, you have a voltage point system at the moment too, Anas. Is that right? A point system
Yep.
for
Yep.
trading on the platform.
Yes. Yes.
Can you walk us through that a little bit?
For sure. For sure. So basically, the idea is to incentivize trading, and what we have seen around the ecosystem and even outside world is like you have credit card points, you have shopping points, and people love the structure of being rewarded for their usage. And since we are all building an an open world and sharing as much as possible with the users, we have a very interesting rewards system which basically gives you voltage points for anything that you do on Flash. And at the end of every epoch, which lasts for 30 days, according to your voltage points, you get rewards in our token, that is FAF. And the most interesting thing is when you earn this FAF, you can claim and stake to get revenue from the platform and utility. So it's all about creating this interesting loops where people are rewarded more when they use the platform more and give as much as possible to users, because this is where they are actually winning versus the off-chain world where everything is not transparent and you don't know where the profits are going towards. But when you are interacting with on-chain products, the revenues are openly shared, and in many protocols right now the revenue is being diverted to the token holders. So it is, I think it's one of the best times to be trading and doing things on chain, because users are actually winning, because uh, since the revenue that everyone is making is being put back into the ecosystem, I think it's just a win of users everywhere in terms of fees or rev sharing.
Yeah. The 50% of fees that users get back to them, are they getting that in FAF token or in stable coins?
It's in USDC. So what we do is like we
USDT,
get,
yeah.
yes, we get fees in different tokens, and that is all converted into USDC and shared every 6 hours to the
Every 6
stakers.
hours.
Yes, according to the pro
Oh,
rata
wow.
share. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Very good. What happens to the other 50% of the fees?
That's used by us to run the platform.
Yeah, okay. Because you don't have
Since
any FAF tokens, of course.
okay, I just want to add one thing is like we are a fully bootstrap project. We didn't raise any money from any investors. We started by putting our own money and building this platform, and today we are happy to see it being self-sufficient and making the money for itself.
That's amazing. So you're fully self-sufficient based on trading revenue at the moment.
Yes.
That's really cool. That's really, really cool. How long did it take you to get to that stage, Anas? How long have you been building for to get to here? Because that's a genuinely very significant milestone.
Yep. So the platform has been live for 18 months now. It's been 18 months since the protocol went publicly live, but it took us about a year to build. And we started building after getting slapped by FTX and the Mango hack back in 2022. And it took us the whole year of 2023 to come up with Flash. And the whole engine was built uh, from scratch by the team. And we are thankful to Solana Labs also for incubating us and helping us to get the programs audited, because the cost of auditing is upwards of it's costly, and that's
Extremely
where they,
expensive. Yeah.
yeah, they came in and helped us. And we are happy to say today Flash's programs are audited 3 times now, and the recent audit happened just a month ago. So we are very confident about scaling things.
That's awesome. I wasn't aware of that as part of Flash Trade story, Anas. That's really, really cool. Very commendable. Pepito, I'm out of questions. So I was going to finish off with my wrap up, unless you've got anything else for Anas. Anas, is there anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to know, like, I think Pitnet is moving to Fogo. Do we have any interesting news on that? Just wanted to know what is happening there. What's cooking?
No.
I am not aware of anything. I do not have any alpha to share on this front.
Sheesh.
Me neither. Me neither.
All right,
What's
so
what's publicly
Sorry, Adam.
available is Pith will be available on Fogo, and so perp dexes and borrow lending applications will be able to use the price feeds.
all right, for sure. No worries, no worries.
Ready to go
Eh,
from day one.
Yep. Yeah. I think that is pretty much it for now.
Oh, actually, just
yeah.
one quick one, because I guess you guys have been also using Magic Block as an
Yeah.
engine, or in some way. Can you give us a quick TLDR of what Magic Block is and how it fits in with Flash Trade?
For sure. So we are right now in the experimental stage with Magic Block, and Magic Block is a ephemeral rollup which lives on the validator side of the world, where they are basically a cart that runs along with the Solana client. So it's not away from Solana, but it attests everything that is happening on the custom rollup to blockchain every slot. So that basically enables you latencies that are well below 20 millisecond, 20 to 25 millisecond, because ERs are specific to protocols and they are not like this blockchain where you have this distributed network of more than 500 to 1000 validators. You don't need that for each protocol, to be honest. So for Flash, we would have at max 5 validators or 4 validators running this specific ER instance of Flash's margin engine, which would be attesting all the information to the nearest node and push that information to the Solana blockchain as soon as possible. And the most interesting thing about using ephemeral rollups is your assets remain with you very similar to as you have assets in your Phantom wallet. They don't leave your wallet. When you interact Flash, it remains on Flash's margin engine, and when you get it back, you get it back eventually. It's not like the structures that we have with other SVM side chains or L2s where you have to bridge and then use, and then you have to trust that the bridge is decentralized enough and you won't have any signatures being leaked to the North Koreans. But with the ERs, it's all staying on the same chain. It's just the protocol's engine is on a different client that is co-located to the nearest validator, and it basically unlocks much faster confirmation times. And it's a very interesting technology, and we are not live yet. We are working with them to make this thing happen. And if this thing happens, then I'm sure everyone knows this is the same speed that we are talking about what Coinbase and Binance's have, and even Nasdaq have. So eventually, when Solana blockchain itself goes about to 50 milliseconds, we would be able to see the transaction speed for the specific ERs, which is less than 5 milliseconds or closer to microseconds. So it's all about experimenting and being atop of things that are epic. So we are working in that direction, and then we have like bi-weekly calls with the Magic Block team to understand how best we can build this and make it happen. So it's an interesting collaboration, and we are very bullish on what comes out of it.
Very cool. Go faster. IBRL, I think that's the
That's the motto.
I have a question that I ask all of our guests at the end of the streams, Anas, which is if you were joining crypto today, or if you were looking to join crypto today in some sort of substantial manner, what is one piece of advice that you would give yourself or another person looking to get into crypto today?
I think it's just be curious and don't kill your inner child, and just read every possible documentation there is and use the best possible AI out there to learn everything. And the most interesting thing about blockchain protocols is every protocol has a dedicated set of documentation that lays out how everything works. So the more documents you read, the more you understand how everything works, and that's how the alpha is created by you. So once you start to understand how things are working, that's when you start to make money in the ecosystem. So it's all about digging deep into how everything is working and not letting that inner child in you die, the curious kid.
I think Plank is a good one as well.
Great advice, also. Awesome. I've lost my sound here a little bit, so Pepito, you might have to do the sign off for me because I can't hear anything. I'm not sure what's going on, but thank you very much for joining us, Anas, and I'm sure that was a great answer. I'm gonna listen back to it.
For sure.
No, but thanks a ton, Anas, for the time. We're super. I mean, I'm personally a big fan of what you guys are doing, and you guys as people. So it's very, very nice to have you on. And keen to see what you guys are going to be cooking the rest of the year. And thanks a ton for the time.
For sure, and thanks for having me, guys. Let us catch up on the side of the mic.
Yeah, have a good one. Chop, I don't know if you can hear, but no, nothing. Okay. I don't speak languages.
No idea
Chop,
why, but my sound just randomly dropped out for no reason, and I can't fix it. I've been playing around with it.
But so I don't speak signs for Chop. But thanks to you all, Pythians, for joining in. Really another great session. Really recommend checking out the platform. I'm a big fan. Whenever I YOLO on Solana, most of the time it's on Flash. So thanks a lot, guys, and I'd say we'll see you next week and have a glorious Wednesday. And stay safe out there and have some fun and learn some cool shit. Chop.